A while ago, I posted about mukbang YouTuber Tzuyang sharing a video where she opened up about enduring years of sexual violence and abuse from her ex-boyfriend. And since then, there have been several updates on the case, but I held back on posting more, just hoping the authorities would quietly and properly take care of things. But after seeing the latest developments, I was so upset and shaken that I felt like I had to share another update. This whole situation really highlights how tough South Korean society can be on victims of sexual violence and abuse. It got me thinking about how heartbreaking it would be if my own child went through something like this and then had to deal with the society's or some people's cold judgment. While Tzuyang did get a lot of supportive comments, after her first video, she also had to face a flood of nasty comments. So in her latest video, she said it would be her final explanation. And honestly, I'm just so confused and frustrated about why the victim has to explain herself so much and put up with public criticism. I didn't want to record such an emotionally charged video, and I normally don't do, as you guys know, but after reading comments where people were talking about her situation so carelessly, like it was just some gossip, or they were some kind of judge, I was so angered, I just couldn't sleep. In this final explanation video, Tzuyang even shared some of the audio recordings she secretly made during the assaults and abuse. I can't even imagine how humiliating and painful it must have been for her to dig up these traumatic memories she tried so hard to forget. So for her international viewers, I'm going to summarize what's in this video and explain the kind of attacks Tzuyang is currently facing from online trolls. In my previous video, I talked about cyber wreckers, YouTube channels that expose others while pretending to serve justice. Since Tzuyang's shocking reveal, she has been attacked by these cyber wreckers, especially one of the most notorious ones, Kaseon. They have been exposing her private life without verifying the facts, relying only on anonymous sources who claim they worked with Tzuyang. They've even announced plans to expose more of her so-called lies, arguing that she is playing the victim. Researching this was so painful. It's just so cruel. How can people be so heartless toward victims of sexual assault? In her most recent video, Tzuyang had to disclose previously hidden details about being a victim of sexual assault, which obviously she didn't want to respond to Kaseon's accusations that she is playing the victim. They also revealed personal information about her, including allegations of identity theft and abortion, and continue to label her as a liar. So first off, this YouTube channel called Karosero Research Institute, or Kaseon for short, recently made some pretty wild claims about Tzuyang. They said she illegally used her ex-boyfriend's sister's name to get an abortion. After these allegations, some people started criticizing her, accusing her of playing the victim. But what really set people off was how Kaseon disclosed such private information about a sexual assault victim so insensitively. It's no wonder people are calling it serious secondary victimization. Kim Se, the guy who runs Kaseon, even went on their live broadcast on July 29th, claiming that Tzuyang's story about being forced to work at a bar by her ex-boyfriend wasn't true. He based this on accounts from the bar owner, who was apparently close to her ex and might have heard her ex's side of story. The man claimed that Tzuyang met her ex while she was already working as a hostess, and later followed him to another bar where he worked. The owner mentioned that Tzuyang eventually started YouTube with her ex's help, and argued that since the job had flexible hours, it didn't make sense that she was forced into it. The owner also said it wasn't fair to claim she was tricked by her ex, especially now that he's no longer alive. Kim Se then questioned Tzuyang's story, saying they weren't trying to expose her past, but were challenging her version of events. However, in doing so, it's undeniable that he exposed unverified details of Tzuyang's private life, forcing her to relive past trauma. The situation has now centered on these disclosures, regardless of his intentions. Kim also mentioned that Tzuyang's lawyer had blamed Kaseon for bringing up things from her past that she didn't want to make public. They had asked her to apologize before going live, but when she didn't respond, they decided to air it anyway. Honestly, I have no words for this man and his ridiculous channel. Tzuyang, who, according to her lawyers, wasn't even eating properly because of the stress from having her private stories of abuse exploited by cyber wreckers, has been so mentally drained that she hasn't even been reachable. She wasn't even responding to her lawyer's calls. But after these latest allegations, she posted a video 2 days ago saying it would be her last one on this matter. And let me tell you, this video is shocking, to say the very least. I'm going to include some recordings from that video and talk about what was said, but I have to warn you, viewer discretion is highly advised, especially for anyone who has experienced domestic violence, because this could be very, very triggering. She started the video by explaining that the situation is complex and involves issues she wanted to keep hidden, which is why she couldn't share the details earlier. But after much consideration, she decided to share as much as she could. She then included footage from a live broadcast where Kaseon's Kim Se and the sister of her ex-boyfriend discussed the alleged abortion using her name. So basically, Kaseon is arguing that Tzuyang went through abortion not under her own name, but someone else's name, which is her ex-boyfriend's sister. She explained that the reason she couldn't talk about the abortion earlier is because it's tied to the sexual assault incident she mentioned in her first live stream. She admitted that it is still incredibly difficult, incredibly hard for her to discuss any of this. To prove that she was sexually assaulted, she even shared a recording made while she was being sexually assaulted by her ex.
말하지. 돈도 다 뺏어야 되고 성노예로도 써야 되겠고
그래,
그 다음에도 얘를 죽여야 되겠어. 아니
그거는-
나는 다 필요 없다. 얘를 왜냐면 궁극적으로 뭐냐면 얘를 결국은 죽여야 되겠다니까.
Just imagine how she must have felt having to put something so deeply personal and painful on her channel for the world to hear. It's truly a shame on South Korea and on the people who treat domestic violence and sexual assault like it's some kind of joke, thinking they have the right to comment so insensitively on someone's scars. Tzuyang opened up about her painful experience, explaining that she had been forced into having sex with him multiple times, even after breaking up with him. This led to an unwanted pregnancy, and she had to undergo surgery. She only recently discovered that her ex might have used someone else's name at the hospital. She said that she didn't know any of this. She mentioned that her ex arranged for the hospital in Gwangju and told her to cover her face with a hat and mask and to stay silent so that no one could recognize her. Regarding Kaseon's claims, Tzuyang explained that her ex-boyfriend's sister, whose name was allegedly used, initially contacted Kaseon with this information. But she later reached out to Tzuyang to clarify that she wasn't actually sure if her name had been used, and it was just something she had heard. After checking for records, she found nothing to support the claim, which implies that Kaseon might not have verified the facts before releasing their video. Despite this, Tzuyang said that if the investigation confirms that identity theft really occurred, she is willing to accept the consequences, even if she was unaware of it at the time. And in response to Kaseon's claim that Tzuyang is playing victim, she revealed shocking recordings of her being abused by her ex.
쯔양이 피해자 코스프레 하면서 제가 뭐가 화가 났냐?
And you say you've been getting threatened by your boyfriend for 4 years? Then why didn't you think about breaking up? What kind of stupid person would sell their body just because their boyfriend ordered it?
가로세로 연구소와 함께 쯔양 이슈 함께 재밌게 파보길 바라겠습니다. 재미난 거 너무 많아요. 재미난 거 너무 많아요.
뭐야 지금? 내 때렸어? 어? 경찰 신고할게. 어? 나도 이제 못 지켜볼 테니까 재정신이 사람이야? 정상인 사람의 행동이야?
Tzuyang also addressed the allegations about working at an adult entertainment bar. She clarified it is true that she started working there because of pressure from her ex. She said in her video, "I'm not sure why I need to explain all of this in detail, but I did not meet my ex at a karaoke bar, and I have not worked in such bars before meeting him." Her ex-partner initially made her work at karaoke bars to earn money, and later she discovered messages on his phone that indicated he was planning to send her to even more inappropriate places to exploit her further for more money. Feeling scared after seeing those messages, Tzuyang said she eventually moved to Yeouido, where her ex worked, and she started working at a room salon, which is something like a hostess bar. But she couldn't take it any longer. She realized she couldn't continue with that kind of work, so she started broadcasting instead. Tzuyang said that Kaseon pressured her to apologize by conducting interviews with the bar owner and other related individuals to expose her past private life. But she said those people were only relaying what they had heard from her ex to Kaseon, so basically it is a one-sided report. Tzuyang revealed her bank records to show that she had been sending all of the money she earned from her mukbang broadcasts to her ex-boyfriend. She explained that when she first started streaming, he took all her earnings, leaving her in situations where she couldn't even afford to order food for her broadcasts. She shared that she was constantly subjected to violence and threats. In 2022, she was so desperate to end this relationship that she begged him, offering to give him all the company's earnings just to get him to leave her alone. They eventually broke up, but he continued to demand money and even made sexual demands. When she refused to engage in this relationship, he insisted on receiving money instead, and she ended up giving him cash every day. Towards the end of the video, Tzuyang opened up about how much she has been struggling with Kaseon's relentless demands for explanations and their constant personal attacks. She explained that Kim Zae from Kaseon has been acting like he's some sort of legal authority, demanding that she apologize and explain herself as if she's required to do so. He even threatened to expose the people around her if she didn't comply, saying that he would punish Tzuyang for her crimes, which just feels like extreme bullying. Tzuyang's side shared that she had to stop all her activities and was living in fear, while her character was being dragged through the mud. They also pointed out that the damage from Kim Zae's ongoing harassment, like digging up her painful past, exploiting her trauma, spreading lies, and threatening to reveal her private life, is actually far worse than what those other YouTubers did when they extorted money from her. And after the release of her last video, instead of showing any empathy, Kaseon brushed off her explanations as an emotional appeal and kept pushing for more explanations. They even mocked her video, saying, "We watched your emotional appeal, but you didn't answer any of our questions." Kaseon then demanded that she show her medical records and provide evidence related to the abortion, and they questioned whether she had worked at a bar before meeting her ex, insisting that she prove it. They added, "Stop trying to distract from our requests. Instead of making a 44-minute emotional video, just answer our questions." Like, are you for real? Like, who do you think you are? But anyways, most people are siding with Tzuyang, feeling that Kaseon's approach is way too harsh and crosses a line. Many are saying that Tzuyang doesn't owe Kaseon any explanations, especially since they're not a legal authority. She's already said that she'd accept any consequences if necessary, so Kaseon's actions just seem like they're trying to nitpick and stir up more trouble. In fact, Kaseon's recent video, titled Tzuyang's Big Lies Exposed, interview with room salon owner, has been flooded with critical comments like, their channel should be shut down for profiting off of hurting people. They don't care about the truth. They just want to make money off sensational content. You know, like, stop harassing people. You owe Tzuyang an apology. People are really questioning who gave them the right to be so cruel just to make some money. It's definitely not the first time Kaseon has been involved in controversies like this. After the death of actor Lee Sun-gyun last year, Kaseon faced heavy criticism for releasing recordings and videos that seemed to target him. On October 26, 2023, they published 2 videos that revealed private conversations and personal details like the real name, age, and photos of a woman allegedly involved in the drug use allegations against Lee. Critics have argued that instead of focusing on the actual drug allegations, Kaseon zeroed in on Lee Sun-gyun's private life, continuously exposing personal details that might have contributed to his tragic death. The videos were seen as invasive, and some believe that the relentless public exposure pushed the actor towards his unfortunate end. Despite this, Kaseon has been sticking to their stance, saying that criminals should not be portrayed as victims. Anyways, on July 31st, Tzuyang's legal team filed a complaint against Kim Se, the head of Kaseon, with the Suwon District Prosecutor's Office, charging him with threats, coercion, and violations of the Information and Communications Network Act. This action came shortly after the arrest of 2 YouTubers, Koo Jae-hyuk and Chun Guk-jin, on July 26 for allegedly blackmailing and extorting money from Tzuyang. The Prosecutor General, Lee Won-seok, has emphasized the importance of addressing malicious online content and cyber harassment, urging strict measures against those who create harmful content for profit. He also called for the seizure of any criminal proceeds from such activities, emphasizing the need for a stricter response to cyber wreckers who cause severe defamation and insult. So we will have to see how this all goes. We hope that Tzuyang's case can set a precedent for holding relentless cyber wreckers accountable, sending a clear message that ruining others' lives for entertainment or profit will not be tolerated. This could mark the beginning of a positive change in the YouTube environment, creating a space where no one feels entitled to invade someone's private life or demand any kind of explanation. It's essential for the community to create and foster a culture of respect and privacy, ensuring that content creation does not come at the expense of someone's dignity and well-being. That is all for today. Thanks for watching.